Hey guys, look, I just wanted to make a quick comment just saying, like, I haven't done any of these, like, video editing in quite some time, so just bear with me. If you're interested in what I'm doing and you'd like to see more of it, please let me know down in the comments. I'm more than willing to make more of these. I plan on just making some short, succinct, like, videos, going over the process of, AVI creation. Yeah, please give me ideas, let me know in the comments, I'll be reading them. The most asked question I receive is just how to put like clothing and objects together and just create just some sort of avatar in Blender. I'm going to be going over two just methods. Bear with me, it was late, so yeah, enjoy. The first place I would ever go to looking for assets, Gumroad. There is so many assets. One asset that I do need to find for this is hair, and now you'll get a lot of, I don't want all this, I just want the hair. Alright, future me coming in, just gonna save you from my awkward self just stumbling through Gumroad. Yeah, if you need an asset, just go to Gumroad, just take your time, find some stuff, download the FBX. Pretty simple. So first thing I want is I want to put a face onto this. Cat's plugin has all this like awesome stuff right there. Everything's right next to each other. I'm gonna go import a model. This is where I just found my underwear. This head I absolutely adore. I'll probably link its Gumroad in the description. It is a super good like asset and it's very well made. So I'm just gonna. First thing, as you see here, the head is separated from like the body, as in the sense that it's now levitating. So the first step, just roughly get that lined up. Just roughly. It doesn't have to be perfect. If you see these bones, see how these bones are now together? So you can more or less tell that it's positioned correctly in like this plane. Well, I don't know why it's the Y. I hate every program has to separate. In Blender, it's correct on the Y plane, on this green axis. Just gonna bring it down and just really get it to just sit in there. You can move that neck just to get it sitting just perfectly. If you want even finer tuning, you can actually change this variable down here. It's a little finicky. But for this, I reckon I can just get it with just that. That's looking good. Now, we're lucky with this asset is it's positioned in the right spot and it looks good. So we don't have to be going in, sculpting it, dragging stuff. That's looking pretty good as it is. And there's two sort of rules that I go by when you're adding assets. If you look up in this upper right hand corner, this armature has a little man. That man means there's bones, as you can see, that we're all moving, and it's already weighted. It's already got all this information done for us. So putting it together is much easier. We don't have to manually do everything again. All we have to do in the Cats plugin, there is custom model creation. I already had it open. Merging all bones. Apply transform. Join meshes, remove zero ways. Check all of these. I'll go through what they mean. Any bone under the same name will have their weights merged together. So that means all the information packed in on that bone, if it has the same name, if there's two head bones, they're just going to merge together. Apply transforms. All that effort we just did of positioning it perfectly is going to keep that. If that's unchecked, it's just going to reset to its local 000 and the coordinates, and we've just wasted our time. Join meshes, just essentially joins all the meshes together. And remove zero waste bones. Some creators leave a full armature. So this head only had its head and eye bones. Some just leave the full skeleton, and really it's redundant. There's no point. So removing zero weight bones just eradicates them. As soon as we hit merge, it's going to merge armature.003, which as you can see under here. If I hide this, it's the face, to our body. It's going to merge it up. So we should go merge armatures. And voila. That's as simple as it is. Just a click. Again, Future Mong here coming to save you guys. I'm just going to be using the exact same method to apply the hair. I might just like fast forward that. What happens if we import a model and see this outfit? You import a model and it's just not fitting. How do we go about this? Let's try and position this as best we can in this 3D space. Looking okay for the bottoms. Alright, same thing as before. Merge all bones, apply transform, join meshes, remove zero weights, merge armature. And now, armature's merged. I always like just double check. For sometimes people use differently named bones and you'll end up getting double ups. So just double check. This has gone through pretty nicely. So in CATS plugin, under model options, there's separate by materials. And as you can see in this upper right hand corner, everything's now been separated. Focus on fixing one piece first. Chat, I'm just going to work on this top. Another really cool trick, a lot of people don't actually use this, is to separate by loose parts. This one material, this one object in 3D space, is both the top and the pants. By separating by loose parts, it's now divided these into two. So now I've just the top and just the pants. It's two separate materials. It's going to help me put it together, that's all. So as you can see, it's sort of, I can push this back a little bit. Things aren't really lining up. There's push this back. Alright. So the first method of fitting something is probably what I think is my preferred. Both ways have their benefits. Pressing tab will get you into edit mode, and you're going to be able to start seeing these vertices. Now, when you click on a vert, I already have it selected, but this circle right up the top there, I'm sort of flashing it on my screen, that's proportional editing. And it's going to start out, when you go to click and drag something, mine's already a nice little circle, but it's defaulted to just something ridiculous. You just need to, while having the mesh selected and moving, so you're going to be dragging it, I haven't let go of left click, scroll your mouse wheel in. It's going to bring that circle in, and everything affected inside of this circle is going to be moved proportionally. So this shirt needs to come out and down. Click on invert to the side, and we can bring it out. Bring down. We even get like this bottom vert here. Really start bringing this top down. It's going to take a few goes, just tugging it around. But more or less, we have it fitted there. Again with this back, you can't exactly see it as this body's in the way, but go through here. You just select the back, don't be too picky. I'm just gonna pull this out. It's really good with doing very broad, not perfected edits of just pulling the mesh. So along the side, I'm just not gonna think about it, just gonna pull it out. It's going to affect what we have at the front, but again, it's all just trial and error and going through and fixing it. This other side, I'm going to do with sculpting and show you that process. but more or less, this is somewhat fitted. You can spend hours doing this and making sure things are just perfect. But what I like to use proportional editing for, why is the eyes close? Alright, look, we're just gonna ignore that. Not sure exactly what happened there, but I'm not gonna worry about that for now. So, yeah, proportional editing for just large edits, moving things into a rough position. Everything else here, you can do this with sculpting, and I'll show you on this other side of the shirt. If you're up the top in Blender, there's all these different modes for everything to do with 3D, and sculpting is just an awesome tool. So it's going to take you to this whole new view, it removes all your textures, and it's just completely different. Make sure again, in the top right hand, see mirroring is working here. I'm not sure why it wasn't in layout, but I digress. So on the left hand side you have all these brushes. We're only going to worry about 3 tops. Feel free to play around with these in your own time. The basic move tool that we're going to be using is this elastic deform, this sphere with a yellow lump. What this does is it allows us to click on a mesh and just drag it out, okay? And every 3D program, square brackets is to adjust size. Again, we're now going to be doing what we did on the left hand side, large edits. So feel free to just have a large brush and go through here. Grab this bottom of this shirt and just drag outwards. I know a lot of people, when they first get into using Blender, they're very awkward with their camera. They're not exactly sure where to have their camera in the 3D space. You want to be working perpendicular. Like, if I want to drag this sort of like breast area outwards, I'm going to be looking face on and dragging to the side. This whole sculpting is camera dependent. If you draw a giant big X on your screen, it's going to be working on that plane of the camera. So if I drag it straight out here, it's straight to the side. If I go from like a 45-degree angle from looking on the side, and I drag it out, it's more or less 45 degrees out. Again, up. It's dependent. You see this like this line here. It's dependent on the angle of your camera. So looking straight onto what you're working with will give you your best results. And feel free to play around. When you're dragging stuff, you're gonna just sort of ruin work you've already done. Don't be caught up on details early on. Large strokes. Get things looking somewhat organized. Any clipping anywhere, it's gonna sort out. Because we've had mirroring off, we actually get this really sort of cool effect of the shirt just being really casually put on. See this uneven line? If you're after like a really casual look, it's a really good way. Just turning off mirroring. Also, I'll just turn it on here to get this neck sorted. I also cannot see, so I'm just going to goodbye hair and head. I just want to see exactly what's going on here. And pulling out one side affects the other, and you just do a tug of war game. So it really brings out. Now, as you can see, this is by no means perfect. There's a large like air gap at the back. Things are just like, I feel like too far out than what's needed. now that the shirt is somewhat fitted to the body, feel free to decrease your brush size, really go in there. And this is where I start showing off other tools. So this back, for example, I can see that on my base there's this nice line along the back. The next brush to introduce is draw. This is, in all 3D programs, this is the most primitive brush of all. It increases like mass, as you can see. You can really draw out an area. If you press Control, it does the reverse. It draws in. So when you're sort of wanting to get a little bit more definition, especially onto a human body, and you know the underlying like armature, like body, you can sort of just like sculpt in some of this detail. So under this breast here, I can just start sculpting this in here and just start bringing in some detail. But do be careful a little bit. I'll go back to this elastic brush and just really start fitting it in. Another really good tool I want to introduce is the flatten brush. It does exactly what it says. If you literally just go in here and you do some circles, you can see it's going to draw some of the mesh out and push some of the mesh in just to create a flat plane. So if you're sort of having this really rounded like back area, this is already pushing it in. And another really cool tool, just to even go over this, is smooth tool. It's somewhere in here. I think yeah, this one's smooth, but shift, just holding shift will smooth out a mesh. So if you've like really worked an area and it's like lumpy, you can go in and start smoothing this mesh out. And obviously Control Z undoes like anything that you've done. And just going through those brushes there, in time, you'll get a nice fitted shirt. And just to prove a point, I'm just going to fast forward this. I start going off on a tangent here, but yeah, it's just that one process of going over everything. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with what that is for now, just for a really quick like fitting. The next thing is on this back, I purposely left sort of this indent. There's also another method to smooth. If you're doing your proportional editing and you really drag something out and it's sort of awkward and you really want to smooth something out, pressing C is going to bring, well, if I don't have something selected, it's going to bring up the circle around your cursor, and you, with mouse wheel, you can increase and decrease the size as needed. I'm just going to go over this back area here. I don't think this method is as smooth, as like strong as the sculpting one, but there is this tool in the right hand, also the left hand side, saying smooth. Now what this does, it does give you a little bit more control, is everything in the affected area, and you click on this like pin and you drag it, it's gonna start smoothing that area. So I can just bring this in and just smooth that out. And it's looking a little better. This bit here, sort of smooth it out. It's already looking better. Easy. So that's the top. You can literally go through, I'm trying to do these pants as quick as possible, fitting this to the body. So I'm really happy with that. And again, very simple. It just takes time, and it's the same process over and over and over again. Any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. My next process is going to be going over weight painting and just fixing any common issues that people tend to come across with. Hey there, I just wanted to say thank you for watching to the end. I do have a Discord which will be coming on screen. I do also have an Instagram, but I do hardly post there, and I do sometimes, but incredibly irregularly, stream on Twitch. Hoping to be a little bit more active across all of them, but yeah, thanks for watching.